Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This would be a continuation of the central cannon versus three-step tiger opening system that was started last week. Without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon. Now, before I continue, I forgot to mention last week that usually the three-step tiger is divided into the left three-step tiger and the right three-step tiger. With h8 plus 7, because Black had moved the left horse, this would be known as the left three-step tiger. Now, comparatively speaking, the left three-step tiger is considered to be orthodox. Whereas, if h2 plus 3 was played, it would be considered to be unorthodox. And the right three-step tiger is seldom seen because of many congenital weaknesses. Because with h8 plus 7, red c2 equals to 5 would mean that there was no cannon over here to uh, inhibit any development of the pieces over here. Now, if h2 plus 3 were played, there's a cannon over here which would impede or cause major problems for black if black wanted to use the three-step tiger. So if h2 plus 3 were played, usually black will continue with this which was defense. So h2 plus 3. Again, this would be a similar position that was discussed. Please see the previous video for the explanation. Now, in this board, the position of discussion will be e7 plus 5. Now, this is an important variation in this opening system that would deal with red's pawn rank cannon. With e7 plus 5, the efficiency or the effect of red playing c7 equals to 3 to attack the elephant would now become greatly diminished because the elephant had moved away and there will be no target for the cannon to attack. Now black attempts to seek more options with this variation. And at this point in time, there are two major variations. The first would be h3 plus 4. The second would be r1 plus 1. So in variation A, red will charge his horse to the riverbank to attack. Now, this is quite an interesting approach that was given in the book. The reason for this is because both the red chariots have not been developed, and red would choose to attack with his cannon and horse instead. Now, of course, there'll be pros and cons, but red's attack will now hinge on his ability to make use or to make full use of this horse and cannon in attack. Now, black traverses the cannon to attack this horse, preparing to play p3 plus 1 for his next move. Now there are two other counters that were discussed. The first counter will be h2 plus 3, but because the cannon was here, red will immediately play h8 plus c8 equals to 7 to block the horse. Thus, this cannon will still be able to exert its influence on the game, and now with this move, red will be threatening to play h4 plus 6 to threaten the horse. Now, black could make a prophylactic move of c2 plus 2. Red chooses to play h9 plus r9 equals to 8. Black protects the cannon. Red moves the chariot to the riverbank. p7 plus 1, trade of pawns. This is another use of the black cannon. And black goes to a very complicated position with offering another trade of pawns. So this would be something of the 4-pawn rendezvous situation in Xiangqi. This similar variations can be found in the sandwich house defense, etc. Usually black would play p7 plus 1, and red would charge his horse across the river to threaten the cannon over here. So red would have the initiative, and this is one of the downsides of playing e7 plus 5, because now the cannon would not be protected and black would have to use one move to deal with this issue. So red would have the initiative. So h2 plus 3 is not a good idea. Now what about r8 plus 4? So r8 plus 4 would be black's attempt to prevent the horse from crossing, and also play r8 equals to 6 to threaten the horse. Now, red would cunningly sacrifice a pawn. Now, at this point in time, both the pawn and the horse are attacking the chariot, and the only move that black can play would be to play c8 equals to 7. But in doing so, this file would now be left open for red to play r1 equals to 2, and should black play r4 equals to 3, the cannon will make it, the red chariot, sorry, will make it to the riverbank in time to protect the horse, and red could adjust his formation. Black could usually consolidate his defense with a4 plus 5, but red would now develop his left chariot, and as can be seen after the 9th ply, black's entire right flank had not moved. The black chariot was not very well positioned, and red's chariots on the other hand will now develop with open lines for further development, so red would have gained the tempi in this variation. So that is why r8 plus 4 and h2 plus 3 are not good ideas. Instead, c2 equals to 3 would be a better move. Now, with c2 equals to 3, again as mentioned earlier, black will be prepared to push the pawn forward to attack the horse. Now, in the book, a rather interesting move, h7 minus 5 was played, whereby red would now try to develop his horse from this side. Now, this would appear to be a good or sound variation. However, this move has been criticized as being too soft. And instead of retreating, red could have easily played c8 plus 1 if, let's say for example, red would capture, counter capture, and this would be a trade of material. So c8 plus 1 would be a viable alternative, and so would playing h4 plus 6 to attack the cannon, which is protected by the horse. If black tried to play r8 plus 4, red will retreat his cannon c8 minus 1, protect his horse, and thus prevent the black from pushing the pawn forward, because if it did, the cannon would now capture the chariot. So these two moves would appear to be better alternatives. However, in the book, h7 plus minus 5 to retreat the horse to the central file for development along this flank was given, and this is one of the older methods of playing the position. And black would capture the pawn, which is quite a good move. Now, the reason for it being a good move is because now black would be able to play h2 plus 3. Red cannot play c8 equals to 7, or the cannon will capture it. Neither would capturing this pawn be a good idea, because it would impede the movement of this horse. So red develops his horse, protects the horse to prevent h4 plus 6 from happening. Red can only play c8 equals to 3, and black will get to develop both chariots, which are faster than red's chariots. Red switches formation, and black would have the advantage in this situation. And the reason for this would be red's rather soft h7 minus 5. So now let us go to variation B. Variation B, red would develop his right chariot as a ranked chariot, as he chose to seek more opportunities. This is a slow but steadfast approach, as red would slowly organize his attack, and it would allow red to control the situation better. Black would continue h2 plus 3, c8 equals to 7 to prevent the horse from moving. r1 equals to 2, h3 plus 4, preparing to attack, c2 plus 2 to prevent this from happening, and also black is prepared to play p7 plus 1 to trade pawns and allow for development of his left horse. r9 equals to 8, and r2 equals to 3, r2 plus 3, sorry. Now this would force the cannon to move away, because if there's no better move. And once the cannon moved away, black would now retreat and the issue of this elephant on the horse will now be resolved at the expense of one move. Red will play r8 plus 4. Black will do likewise. Again, at this point in time, retreating the horse would be considered to be an agile tactic. Now, c5 equals to 4 would not be a good idea because Black will retreat his cannon and start use this cannon to trade away one of Red's cannons for the advantage. So, for example, after trading cannons, this horse will still be protecting this Black cannon. So, after trading cannons, Red's horse would have trouble getting further development, and that can be satisfied with this position. So that is why c5 equals to 4 is not considered to be a good idea. So h7 minus 5 would be an agile tactic at this point in time. r2 equals to 4 and h5 plus 3. Now this would be a standoffish situation, but the positioning of the red pieces would be better, and also coupled with the fact that red would have one extra pawn, red would have rosy prospects in the ensuing game. Now, in this board, red played e7 plus 5, which is his move. So this is quite an important variation that Black must learn to deal with. But this move made the entire situation much more complicated. However, one would get the feeling that this variation would result in a very slow-paced game, which would actually go against the idea of playing the three-step tiger, which is a counter whereby Black would try to counter as fast as possible. So as long as Red played properly, he would be able to gain the advantage going into the mid game. So let us review this game from the eyes of Black. Okay, central cannon, left three-step tiger, right proper horse, pushing the pawn forward and advancing the cannon for Red. This would be the position of discussion, e7 plus 5. Two major variations, h3 plus 4 and r1 plus 1. In h3 plus 4, Black would now use his cannon to attack the horse. This is deemed as a poor counter. h8 plus 1 or even h4 plus 6 would have been better. h3 plus 4 to capture the pawn would be a good idea for Black. And Red will move his horse to safety. h2 plus 3. Black would develop both chariots. Red tries to change formation, but Black would have the advantage. In variation B, Red would develop his right chariot as a ranked chariot, and both colors go at it. Black would move the cannon to the riverbank to guard this before playing r2 plus 3 to dislodge the red cannon, forcing it away. After which, this file would now, this area will now be consolidated because the horse will now be protecting the cannon, and the black chariot will now be able to move to attack. r8 plus 4, r8 plus 4. Now at this point in time, this would be a good idea to change formation. Red occupies, and now red would concentrate material on this flank. Now this is, both colors will be in a standoff, but red would have a better positioning and advantage. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video on this opening system. The next board will be something similar, but maybe the boards in the near future I will deal with Black playing the deferred opposite direction cannons, which will be a very interesting variation, interesting aggressive for Black. And again, I implore you, if you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up for the video. Thank you.